All right, this is a video of a sort that I haven't made in a long time, responding to someone's question via a response video. So I posted a video this morning, one of my Good Life meditations, and a longtime viewer left a question for me. And I'm going to respond to it. I'm going to explain the circumstance, the question, or repeat the question, and my response. And I'm going to do that here because I thought it would be helpful to do it so kind of personally. And I think it's okay to do it publicly like this because this question was posted as a public response or comment in the video. That was the video for November 29th, 2021's Good Life meditation video. Here was the circumstance. This person has, I assume, a home. They have at least a yard, so maybe an apartment with a yard, a home with a yard, condo, something like that. That's important. And they have a dog. I'm imagining it's maybe a smaller dog. I'm not sure. Sorry about the jet noise outside. Think about living near an Air Force base. And this person had invited someone over with a bigger dog, or a big dog, in order to see how ostensibly, I think, to see how the two dogs would get along, to see if that might be an opportunity to do some pet sitting. The people that own the other dog apparently are maybe not connected, not friends. Maybe they came upon one another through some sort of a networking environment where maybe this person does dog sitting as, their job or like a gig type of a thing. Whatever the circumstance, the person that wrote to me has got a place, their residence. They've got a yard, and they invited these other people over with their dog for a social engagement in the yard. Long story short, the visitor's dog attacked and injured the person that wrote to me, their dog, and the vet bill was quite sizable, $400. And here's where the question part comes in. The people basically just withdrew from their life, that person's life. And I don't know if they were very much in their life, if this was kind of just a casual meet and greet. But the word that this person used was ghosted them and disappeared. And there's two parts to the person's question. One involves what to do about this, and second one involves what to do about the feeling about having been slighted, cheated, and having their dog injured in this way without any compensation. I think that the first one's an easier one because this person already contacted the police, and the police said that this is a civil matter, that they therefore would not get involved. And I would imagine that would mean that lawyers would be next step if you can't work it out with them to contact them. Like this person said, they ghosted them, so they're not contacting. So maybe lawyers might need to be involved. So that begs the question: is a lawyer going to get involved for a $400 bill? Probably not. Could you take them to small claims court? Maybe that's an option. It depends on how far you want to take that. You kind of asked my opinion. My opinion would stem from how I would handle this, as difficult as it would be. And you kind of alluded to this on your own. I would chalk this up to a lesson learned. Not funny, haha at all, but interesting that you brought GoPro's charged. It's interesting that you brought this up because just this morning I was tempted to take my dogs into a large dog park. I know that's not the same thing, but I was in a small dog park, and I actually wasn't tempted to take them in. I was talking to another woman. They have a small dog park and a big dog park, and I had my dogs in the small dog park, and I was talking to a woman that had her dog in the small dog park, and she was talking about how sometimes people bring little dogs into the big dog park, and then her comment was, and there goes all of your how did she word it, the accountability for liability or something to that effect. She said it in more legalese, right? She said once you do that, you kind of you wash your hands of being responsible if the big dog attacks the little dog. That was her common sense approach. I don't know how the law would see that, but I imagine that probably would be the case in terms of a small dog, big dog park. You bring a small dog because you usually have a weight limit. In this case, it was 35 pounds. Under 35 pounds in, you're kind of on your own for whatever damage is, especially given the law here in the United States, at least, considers dogs to be like property goods. So it's property damage. So, but I know that's different from this person's situation, but I would kind of look at it that way, that if I had a yard, and I do now, and I invited a big dog in to socialize with my small dog, I would consider that I have opened myself up to risk. And though it would be nice and considerate and probably the right thing to do if the other people took the responsibility, or at least shared the responsibility for the damage that was taken, I would probably, if I were in the same situation, accept that I took on that risk and own that risk and the bill. The second question, part of the question, is what do you do about the anger, the frustration? It's interesting again that you bring this up. This person brings this up because in my good life objectives and principles, 7 objectives and 27 principles for better living, outlined in my book Going Alone, available on Amazon. I didn't mean to make this into a plug. I was kind of trying to parody that, and it came out sounding authentic, and like I really was doing it. But I just mentioned over in the Discord server last week that I have a new principle that I want to add to the good life. So that'll be principle number 28. Getting a lot of them. And I haven't done that yet. I'm waiting probably for another 2 weeks or so. I'll add that in. And that principle is exactly the principle that I would bring to bear if I were in this situation. I'm going to call that principle that which must be borne. Not B-O-R-N, but B-O-R-N-E, born as in carried. That which must be borne. This principle simply seeks to identify a painful, angering, frustration, whatever the case may be, that really there's no way around it other than to simply have to bear it, right? You have to carry it. It's Sisyphus with a rock. It's the rock that you simply have to push that rock uphill. Hopefully it won't roll back down as in the case of Sisyphus, but you get the idea. So if I were in your situation, I would do 2 things. One, I would, like you said, consider this a lesson learned, chalk that up to the principle of wisdom, the principle of maturity, that is. Maturity is the combination of wisdom and fortitude. So chalk that up that's a $400, you just paid a $400, consider it like a college tuition, you just paid a $400 tuition for a very valuable piece of wisdom. And now you'll need to bring to bear the fortitude to make sure that mistake is not repeated, or similar mistakes like it, which means going into settings, recognizing where the responsibility and risk are as a project manager, recognizing the risks, identifying the risks, and coming up with mitigating approaches, which may be not having the dogs meet like that, or I don't know how to do it, or deciding not to be a dog sitter. And then the second part is that, sorry, I don't think there's any, unless you want to get drunk, I don't think there's any way, and I don't recommend that. I don't think there's any way out of this other than to simply bear it and consider the value that is gained. Just as I'm trying to bear right now the barking of the dogs, the passing of the jets, just simply try to bear it. I hope that helps. Take care, and thanks for coming back to the channel, and thank you to TKO Sam for shouting me out over on his channel, which brought you back. I appreciate that. And I'll shout TKO Sam out the same. So go check out TKO Sam, a hell of a guy over there in the Japans. Okay, take care. Bye bye.